All right. What's up, everybody? This is Gonz here from domandgonzsportstalk. We're back with another episode. I know it's been a little bit of a hiatus. I know lots of things happened. Training camp started. I think the last time we talked probably was back around the Jair Alexander signing back in and beginning of July maybe. So it's great to be back. And as you can see, we look a little bit different. We are on a different platform finally. We finally were able to move from IG Live to StreamYard. So this is really awesome. We'll be able to do a lot more on this. We could stream over to YouTube. We could record. We could do a lot of stuff. So we're really excited to move platforms and get started. But anyway, we got some Ravens news to talk about. We got a lot of Ravens news to talk about, like 4 weeks worth, actually, because it's already 17th of August. So 6 weeks worth, honestly. So we need to do a better job, right, Dom? We really do.
When life hits you fast, and platforms change on you fast. So that's just kind of what happens. You just got to roll.
Anyway, it's great to be back, though. As I said, I'm Gonz. That's Dom. And welcome back to the show where we don't talk about only Baltimore Ravens, but around the NFL. But anyway, before we start, we got a lot to cover. We're going to talk a lot of training camp. We're going to talk a preseason game just happened last night, our second one against the Cowboys, with the Ravens coming away with a dominating win, 31-13. So that was pretty cool. But anyway, Dom, how you feeling? Are you excited for this new platform? Are you ready to get consistent, etc.?
I mean, it's exciting. It's exciting to be on something new, being able to maybe give out more content than we usually have been. Instagram has changed their terms and conditions on when and how you can go live. So it forced us to have to adapt. And this is our opportunity to adapt and be able to bring you guys more of what we want to do, but in a different way. So I'm thankful we were able to switch those platforms. Thankful we were able to really get something going with this new platform. And I'm looking forward to see how we evolve with it as we continue to learn more about it and continue to learn how we can, just be better at, putting stuff out there. Especially because I know people were just like, IG Live, all that fancy stuff. But we're here now. We can give a product that we can be. It's not that we weren't proud of the product we were giving out before, but we were a little limited in what we can do. Now we can give a product that we could be even more proud of as we talk about something that we're very passionate about. So I'm excited. I'm ready to talk into it. We got a lot to discuss. A lot of preseason action, training camp action. It's a lot. The weeks are moving fast. We're almost to week 1, so it's going to be a doozy.
Yeah. So let's just jump right into it. So Cowboys, Ravens in Dallas yesterday. Ravens coming away with 31-13, dominating victory. Lots of things to break down. Lots of things we wanted to see coming into this game because, as you guys remember, in the first game, 24-16 win over the Colts, there were a lot of concerns with the backup quarterbacks, especially with the passing game. Devin Leary played pretty much the whole game, had 43 yards passing and like 30% completions, which was really not good. And Rush wasn't much better, going 2 for 4, 16 yards and a pick. I know there was a drop in there on a screen pass too to Ali. But I wasn't too concerned about Rush after the first game because he only threw 4 passes, and one of them was a drop. And the interception, that wasn't too good. I think he was looking for Dayton Wade, just throwing it up. It's whatever. He only played like 2 drives, and the second drive he got sacked on a pretty bad job by the offensive line. And there was a drop screen pass that probably would have went for maybe at least 10 yards plus from what I could see. So that was probably the biggest headline coming into this game. How are the backup quarterbacks going to do? And there was improvement. There was. Rush, much better game, I thought. I know some people still aren't happy with it. And I don't know. I still don't know if it's the right fit for the Ravens because his scheme, his playing style is not what we really run in this Monken offense. You kind of need to move, and he can't really move. He did move on the bootleg, but y'all know what I'm saying. But, yeah, we'll talk about it. So let's jump into some stats here. I've got the box score, and now look what we can do now. This is so awesome. We're able to do this and talk to y'all at the same time. Can you guys see my screen? Everything good, Dom?
Everything's perfect.
All right, good. So we talked about Cooper Rush. He went 20 for 30, much better completions for 198, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions, bringing him to a quarterback rating of only 68.5. The interceptions. The first one, I thought it was not a very good job by LeJohntay Wester. I don't know what was going on there. He kind of just didn't see where the ball was going. It wasn't the best ball by Rush, but I don't think it should have been a pick six, if I'm being honest. I think both athletes could have done a better job. I think Wester could have reached up and snagged that ball instead of it being intercepted by the Cowboys. And the second one was right off of Ali's hands in a 2-minute drill. So I don't really blame Rush for the picks too bad. The first one was more of his fault. The second one wasn't his fault at all. So, yeah, he would have had 200 yards passing without that drop, too, by Ali. So, yeah, I thought he did a much better job. I really did. And especially against his former team, that was pretty cool. So, shout out to Rush and for getting it done. Devin Leary, nothing good. Again, 5 for 10, 53 yards. He had more yards passing in a whole half than he had for a whole game last week. But, yeah, he just has issues with accuracy. He can't perform under pressure. When he's blitzed, you can almost guarantee it's going to be an incompletion. And I just don't think he's going to be on the team. He might be on the practice squad, but there's 0% chance he's going to be on the team. Then we go to the running backs, who had a pretty nice day. Honestly, Ali had 19 carries for 62. Who had the best day? Dearness Johnson. You guys remember him from the Cleveland Browns a few years ago? He was a fantasy stud. 11 carries for 61 yards, 5.5 yards a carry, and a touchdown. I mean, that was by far the best back of the night. Ali had a couple good runs too, but that was pretty good. That was pretty interesting. And I kept seeing number 30 busting out for long runs. Ravens O-line did a pretty good job as well, clearing the way. And because there were some wide open holes for those backs, and that was pretty cool. I know it's just preseason, but I thought the line did a better job than it did last game, especially Daniel Falele haters. Remember the people who were concerned about him after last week's game? He did better. And again, I don't feel like this is – I know people think that he is not that good, and he might not be that good, but he's not that bad. I don't feel like he's as terrible as people are letting on. He was a Pro Bowler last year. He had a decent season last year. I think they're going to be okay at the right guard position, and they got people to take over if they need to. They got other guys. Voorhees in the fold, and other guys that I'm probably just can't think of right now. So I'm not too concerned about the offensive line. I mean, again, you got to see before you start making proclamations about struggles. You need to see it in the regular season first. Okay, so let's just pump the brakes on Daniel Falele and bad O-line and all that. But yeah, pretty nice job by the offense overall. And before I turn it over to Dom, I'll just talk about one more thing: the wide receivers. Since the quarterbacks were better, the wide receivers were able to get involved, and Tez Walker had a nice day. 6 catches, 61 yards. He was targeted from start to finish. I mean, the very first play was like a 7. I think it was the long catch he had, 17-yard gain. That was pretty nice to see coming right out of the gate. Anthony Miller, nice day as well. He had a long catch, 25-yarder to set the Ravens up 1st and goal for their first touchdown of the game. And then I believe, and Dayton Wade, 45 yards. So these guys that we've been talking about in preseason and training camp, it was good to see them show out. It really was. Because it's one thing about seeing them in practice, and it's another thing about seeing them in game action. So shout out to Walker and Wade for getting it done. Okay, very nice games for them. And who had the touchdown? It was Keith Kirkwood. That was a nice play by Rush to extend the play and find him in the back of the end zone on a 4th and goal. So yeah, overall offense, pretty decent job.
Yeah, it seems like it was a step up from game 1. I know fans were very concerned about the lack of passing in that first game. I think we only had about like 40 or 50 passing yards that entire game. luckily we were able to still come out on top. Want to start with the running backs. It seems as though I'm glad that although Keaton is nursing a little bit of an injury, that he's able to rest compared to that first performance in game one was really good. It seems as though Ali is working towards earning that fourth running back spot. I know a lot of fans heard Harbaugh yesterday saying that the Ravens want to most likely keep 4 running backs on the roster. So it looks like Ali will most likely be that fourth running back, which is cool with me. I think he's a good player. Definitely good in the return special teams game. So definitely can appreciate that. As far as Cooper Rush goes, it's good to see him have some sort of a bounce back game compared to game one in the preseason. 2 picks, one being most likely his fault, the other one not. I know it went through Ali's hands, I think, coming out of the backfield, if I'm not mistaken. So it was good to see him actually get some good yards in this one. Leary, I don't know, man. I'm kind of also I'm spotty with him too. Like it seems as though that like Harbaugh will say he's had good practices, and it seems like he's had good practices, but it just in game, man, I don't know what it is. It's just that in game he hasn't really put on, like even against like another team's 2s, 3s, 4s or whatever. He's just not really able to produce at the rate that we're looking at him for. Now, mind you, we're not saying he has to go out there and put out 400 yards, 4 tutties. You know what I mean? But as far as, just putting on a stable game, keeping being able to extend drives, getting some first downs, the jury is still out on him. Will he be on the 53? I mean, just to keep 2 backup quarterbacks general. Honestly, if the Browns cut Snoop Huntley, would I be mad if the Ravens made a call? No. Wholeheartedly, I think that would probably be the better decision. But as far as Leary, the jury's still out on him. I think we'll see what happens in preseason 3 against the Commanders. But receivers, Walker's just he's had an amazing camp. Like he's just had an amazing camp all summer. He's shown up. He's been one of Lamar's favorite targets all summer, just especially as a deep ball threat. It's really great to see him after the year where he didn't really get that much playing time. And I mean, his first legitimate catch in the game was a touchdown. So that's always great to see. But to see him get these opportunities, to see him go 6 for 61, 10 yards per catch, it's just great to see him do this. I'm hoping that his role is more extended throughout the regular season, kind of securing that wide receiver 4 spot behind, the primary 3 that we'll have running with us. So it's great to see that. As far as these other guys, man, I know Wade has made some great catches in training camp. So it's good to see him also getting some opportunity. I feel like that filling out that wide receiver role going into cutting down the roster is going to be very, very interesting to see who kind of gets like that 6th spot, because obviously I feel like we're probably just going to roll with 6 wide receivers going into the 2025 regular season. So that 6 wide receiver spot is going to be very interesting because I feel like 5 of them are already kind of taken. So we'll see who fits into that 6th role and who knows could get a training camp spot. But all in all, it was great to see the offense bounce back, be able to drop 30 against this Cowboys team. Mind you, not the starters, completely fine. It's just preseason. We're seeing what our guys can do. But this was definitely a step up compared to the first game offensively. It's good to see the ball actually going in the air this time around. So good showing from everyone. Good win. Shout out to the offense. I think they did a really good job.
Excuse me. All right. Anyway, yeah, offense, like we said, 31 points, pretty good. Dom kind of hit it on the head with everything he said, kind of aligning what I believe too. So it was good. It was a nice night. They got a few touchdowns. But another thing that I want to talk about is a lot of opportunities for our new kicker, Tyler Loop. Okay, going 5 for 6, and winning the starting job. So shout out to Tyler Loop for having a strong preseason. I know he missed a couple. He missed one in the Colts game and he missed one yesterday. But he is nailing these 50-yarders, though. I mean, he's nailing them with yards to spare. He's hitting the net pretty early. So this dude has got a strong leg, and I'm excited to see his potential. I mean, I think he'll clean up all the stuff there's a couple things he's messing up on. I heard that, it's one of the hash marks that's giving him issues. It's I forget which one it is, the right or the left. But he's more comfortable on one of those sides. So once he can iron that out and be consistent on both, he's going to be perfect, because some of these kicks are just right down the middle. Like you're seeing some old Justin Tucker. You're getting some old Justin Tucker vibes when you see some of these kicks. I mean, it's pretty impressive. And this guy's a rookie too. So shout out to Tyler Loop and, for having a pretty strong camp in preseason, and for winning the job, because Harbaugh announced it yesterday that Loop's got the job. So I'm excited. Yeah. This is going to be great. So
yeah, shout out to him. I mean, I think what he's shown us so far is that he hasn't had 100% game yet. Right. He hasn't gone 5 for 5 or 3 for 3 yet. But what he's shown us so far is that even when he misses one, he could come back, bounce back, and then make an even more difficult one the next time around. Because in both occasions, both these preseason games, he's missed one that was a little bit closer and then made the farther one the next kick. You know what I mean? So it seems as though he doesn't get flustered easily, which is really nice to see. Like, he stays locked in, getting ready for the next kick. He doesn't let the previous kick get to him, which is nice. It's going to be very interesting to see what we see in preseason game 3. I want to see if we can get a 100% game from him, because he's been about, he's almost there. He's shown us that he can almost get there, but I want to see in preseason in the 3rd game if he can give us an 100%. Just go in full confidence. Make every kick, you know what I mean, and just keep that consistency. But so far, I mean, he doesn't seem like he gets rattled easily, which is really nice to see, because he's going to need that competing in this conference, because the AFC it's a monster. So shout out to him for winning the job. We're starting a new era. This is a completely new era of kicking for the Baltimore Ravens. One that we didn't think we would see this soon. But, shout out to Loop, man. Going to be interesting hearing the M&T Bank go Loop all year. So, Loop,
there it is. Yep.
Loop, there it is.
Saw it yesterday. One thing that Loop is 100% in is his point after attempts.
We'll take that too.
So that is phenomenal. That's phenomenal.
We will take this.
We had a lot of the misses last year.
We did.
Maybe not a lot, but crucial.
Not too, not a lot, but still, it was just, come on, man. Like, these are the kicks. These are like free throws. These are the free throws, basically. You know what I mean? Like, they're not legitimately free, but you're not like 50 yards out. Like, this is the same spot every time. So you just got to make those.
Well, he's making those. He's making the most of it. There's the kicking stats right there. 5 for 6, 83%, and his long of 53 yards. So that's good. And like I said, he could have made it from 60, because that thing hit the back of the net and had yards to spare. So shout out to Tyler Loop. Fellow kicker Brandon Aubrey, who's another really top young kicker in the league. He holds the second longest field goal in NFL history, behind Justin Tucker's 66-yarder. So maybe Loop could get to that level. That'd be phenomenal.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see our first 70-yarder this year, man, because
from Loop,
from anybody. Because I don't know. I mean, I know you guys saw friggin' somebody in one of these games.
Oh, the Jaguars made it.
Yeah, made a 70-yard kick.
Was it really 70?
It was really 70. Like, it was from 70.
Wow.
Like, that's nuts when you think about that. Like, that's insane. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a 70 this year. Will we see it? I don't know. It would have to be like a complete desperation mode to see it. But if that was in the regular season, that would have broken Tucker's record instantly, which is insane.
Yeah. Speaking of special teams, there wasn't too much craziness happening with the kick returns tonight. LaJohntay Wester was quiet. I don't even think we had a punt return. I think a lot of them were fair caught or touchbacks. Speaking of LaJohntay Wester, not the best game. Well, he had a great game the other night, first game. He had a couple great catches, and he had that obviously he had that punt return, and another nice return, about 15 or 20 yards. So that was his breakout game. Very quiet yesterday. He was responsible for that pick six too, for not reaching up and grabbing the ball. I don't know what was going. That was just a very awkward play. So yeah, hopefully it's fine. I mean, he's not going to be dominant every game. You can't get a punt return every single game, and that's fine. You're not expecting it.
Yeah, I think he'll bounce back. You just got to give him time to develop as a receiver. Like I feel like as a punt returner, kick returner, being in that role, he'll adapt and get better.
Yeah.
And then as far as being a receiver, just give him some time to develop. I think he can also be.
He had a rough drop too.
Yeah, I mean he was great in Colorado, so just give him time. Give him some time to develop as a receiver. But so far, I think he's electric as a returner. So keep him in that role. Let him get better. Let him continue to learn. I think he'll still be a stud.
And I'm sure he'll get more chances, plenty more chances on Saturday night against the Commanders for our final game. So we'd like to see a little bit of a bounce back for him. Cool. Now, defensively, very, very impressive performance by a lot of our young guys. First of all, our leading tackler of the night, Jay Higgins. Does he deserve to get a couple snaps? First of all, does he have a chance to make this team? Is he going to be the new, undrafted rookie of the year? Like we always have. The Ravens always have one, an undrafted rookie that makes the squad. It happens usually every year. I can't remember. There might have been a little bit of a gap, but usually that usually happens. It's not uncommon for that to happen for the Ravens. Very strong night from him. He had a lot of good tackles. What do you think before I keep going?
I think Higgins, I mean, he's had 2 games where he's made impact plays, man. Like he's just around the ball, forcing turnovers.
And he got a pick last week, right?
He did get an interception last week. And I think he might have forced like 2 situations last week, if I'm not mistaken. I forgot the other one, but he did get an interception. So
he also had a sack in this game, and I mean, yeah.
I mean, he just seems to just get to the ball, man. Like he gets to the ball fast, and I can appreciate that from an inside linebacker. Especially in a position where we've had question marks as of late because we're trying to see when Trenton Simpson is. We are learning more about Teddy Buchanan, but now we have Jay Higgins, who could fit a role, could get a couple of snaps. You know what I mean? Like he seems to just be where the ball is at all occasions, is fast, good tackler, good form tackler. I mean, like he's just all around a good player. And he's at some point, if he has a great performance in game 3, I think he just becomes undeniable at that point. Like, I just don't think you just let that kind of talent sit on the practice squad. If he has another good game, man, I don't see how you can make an excuse of how he doesn't make the roster. If he puts on a 3rd game of great performances, because 1 time, could it be a fluke? Maybe. You see it twice, doubt it. You see it 3 times, yeah, no way. You know what I mean? So I think he has a possibility to actually be on this 53-man roster by the time we get down to roster cutting.
Yeah, he was, and again, he was alone at the top with 6 total tackles yesterday. Teddy Buchanan was in second place, tied for 4 with 2 other guys. And then I think Trenton Simpson did see the field a little bit. He only had 2. So yeah, I don't see why he shouldn't get more snaps. I completely agree. That's why I was asking you for your thoughts. He should. Yeah, I honestly, we need somebody who can be dominant next to Roquan. And why can't this? I'm not saying this guy's going to be the next, the next starting linebacker, but he could make the team and get some time. It could be a linebacker by committee. They could have a bunch of guys coming in, until they find that right one. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But good, he's having a good summer and a good preseason. So we'll see what he can do in the last game before we get closer to the regular season. Pass rush. We finished the night with, I believe, 3.5 sacks. Or 4 total. Sorry, 3.5, 4. You can't finish with 3.5 sacks, duh. All right, so we had 4 sacks. The first one comes on the very first Cowboys drive. I believe it was Keon Martin, number 38, just absolutely shot out of a cannon on a blitz and just Joe Milton had no idea where he was, took a safety, got hit hard, kind of just like last week when who was it last week? David Ajabo, who just shot out of a cannon, hit Anthony Richardson when he wasn't looking. Same sort of thing, just completely unaware of the blitz. So nice job, good disguises by Zachary Orr, I guess, because I don't know how these quarterbacks aren't seeing these people. But it was exciting. So nice little safety for the Ravens to get them a 2-0 lead right after the first drive. That was the first Cowboys possession, by the way, guys. So that was pretty exciting way to end it. If you're a Ravens fan. So who else had other sacks? We already said Jay Higgins had one. Martin had that safety. Malik Ham had one. Somebody else who's kind of just been under the folds the past couple years. I believe he's been on the team since what, 2023?
I believe it was 2023. He's actually, I think he's a Maryland native, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe he's a Maryland native.
Mike Green, no sacks for him last night, only 2 tackles, but he flashed big time on one of the early plays. I think it was like the second Cowboys possession. He got a complete instant shed on one of those. I think it was the left tackle. Just absolutely destroyed him. Flew in there, and I thought it was going to be a sack, but Milton did see it, and he did force an errant pass and was incomplete. So that was really cool to see. Mike Green just he can be that guy. I'm telling you. We haven't seen it yet. He's been a little quiet. I know he had a half sack last week on Daniel Jones, but you're seeing a little bit of what he can do each week. You know, maybe it's just like a play or two, but that was pretty good. That could have been a 4th down. You know, that could have been a 4th down, errant throw, incomplete, ball goes over on downs. So I know it doesn't mean much, but I think Mike Green could be that dude. I think if he just gets more chances, he could be that dude. But that was really exciting to see. And I do think we intercepted Joe Milton too on one play. Trying to see who it was. Yeah, it was Ruben Lowry, number 30. I don't know what kind of throw that was. He kind of just lofted it up in double coverage. I mean, it was a 2-man under. If you guys don't know what a 2-man under is, it's man coverage across the board, and you got 2 single high safeties on each side of the field. And I guess he just didn't see it. He saw man coverage, so he gave his guy a chance and lofted it right to Ruben Lowry for the easiest interception you'll ever see. So yeah, good shout out for taking the ball away though, not dropping it. So good job. So yeah, this team did, and I think they got a turnover on downs too, where they stopped a run for the Cowboys. So just pretty dominant performance by these young guys.
Actually, I think that turnover on downs, wasn't that Mike Green?
Was it? It could have been.
I believe that was Mike Green who forced that turnover on downs.
It definitely could have been. It definitely could have been. I don't remember who made the tackle. I was cooking and kind of some of that. But anyway, I'm trying to find the stats again for the Dallas pass. Yeah. So Dallas is a team 10 for 23, 125 yards. That is atrocious. Sacked 4 times, interception, total rating 48.3. I mean, these guys were boxed. Joe Milton, 9 of 18, 122 and a pick. I mean, the Ravens were all over these guys. Will Grier, 1 for 5, 33 yards. The majority of the passing yards that they have were on 2 big passing completions. Joe Milton had a big deep one down the left side or right side, and then Will Grier had one too. His only completion, 33 yards. So it's like, other than those 2 big passing plays, they didn't really do much. I mean, Miles Sanders, the running game, non-existent, 20 carries for 51 yards. That's good for a 2.6 per yard per carry. And their longest run was 8 yards. I mean, 7 for 15 for Miles Sanders. Deuce Vaughn, 5 for 11. I mean, Joe Milton, 3 for 6. Will Grier, 1 for 7. I mean, the Ravens, you weren't doing too much on that defense yesterday if you're on the Dallas Cowboys practice or, backups. So shout out to the defense. They played well. They swarmed to the ball. They were getting off their blocks pretty well, made the Cowboys one-dimensional. I know it's just preseason, but it was still exciting to see these young guys pop out. Really, really was.
Yeah, it's really great to know that there's some guys that we could potentially rely on if the going gets tough. Like these guys are all fighting for jobs. Like majority of these guys are fighting for jobs. So just to see them like show up in this way, it means a lot. It just means a lot to know that there's guys who could possibly make this roster and really make an impact. Because it's not really matter where you get drafted. It doesn't matter if you go undrafted free agent. If you get the opportunity, are you going to make an impact? And this is what these guys are working to do, and holding Dallas to, doesn't matter if it's 2s, 3s, 4s, whoever's playing. Holding Dallas to that is still an impressive feat, and to be able to still drop 30 is also an impressive feat. So shout out to this young core, man. I mean, these guys, some of these guys, fans have been critical of. Some of these guys, some people have already tried to give up on. So it's good to see them come out and really put on a performance like this, because come week one, doesn't matter where you were drafted at, it's go time. So, this was a good game all around for these guys for sure.
Yeah, and it spells out a dominant performance. Put it all together, offense, defense, special teams. So yeah, good, nice performance by the Ravens, both sides of the ball, and special teams. So all three phases. So yeah. I think that wraps up for about what we were going to talk about for that game. So yeah, now we can go ahead and shift our focus to training camp, and what we're looking for in our final game. Obviously, no more starters. We don't see any starters. We see all the starters work in training camp, and I know they had a couple weeks ago they had the Colts do their joint practice with the Ravens, and that was kind of rough at times. The offense was having some issues, but they were able to hit some big plays. I did see that the Commanders training camp, we were going to do a joint practice with them, but then they canceled it. So we're not really getting any more work against another team until Buffalo. So I hope that doesn't spell bad news. I think it's important to get a little bit of work against other teams. And I know they did it against the Colts. I just wish that they were able to do this against Washington too. You won't see any starters in the preseason.
I think you're expressing how I feel too. I think it's very important to also try to get that, and I know some people will call me insane for this. Call me insane. I completely understand. I think the starter should get like a drive, in my humble opinion, in this last preseason game. And I get it. I know people are going to look at me sideways and look at me crazy. I get that. But I feel as though getting those reps in, as you said, is still important. Like you have to, because if we were going to have the joint practice against the Commanders, maybe I have a different tune, because they're playing like, it's for real. But now that practice was canceled due to, I believe, scheduling conflicts, it gets to a point where it's kind of like, okay, so where do they get those in-game reps from? Because when they're playing each other, or they're playing a scrimmage like offense versus defense, they're not hitting the quarterback. The quarterback is like no touchy when you're doing those scrimmages, because you don't want to hurt them. But you need those reps. You need that work in, like you said, to actually get ready, because maybe that can help us get over the slow start that we usually have at the beginning of the year, because we're due for a slow start pretty much every year because we don't play our starters. So now with the cancellation of the training camp, the joint camp with the Commanders, it gets a little difficult to, and I actually think the crazy thing about it is I think Jaden is going to play in this game. Really? Yeah, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Daniels is playing in this game. So I don't know, man. I know fans aren't going to agree, which is totally fair. I get that. You don't want anybody to get hurt. You want to wait till week one. Fair. But I think that, the ones should get a drive. Just one drive. One drive. If they get 3, whatever, take them out. If they go 3 and out, whatever, take them out. Do what you got to do. But in my humble opinion, I think they should get one drive, just to get some work in and just to get used to that in-game speed again. Because once Buffalo comes around, there's no getting ready. You got to be ready or you're done. So just straight like that.
Well, there it is. Be ready or you're done.
Are you ready or you're done? It's literally because you're going up against a playoff contender week 1. Like you're going up against Josh Allen week 1. Like it's not,
check you out.
you know what I mean? Like, come on. Like you have to be ready. So will Harbaugh play them? Probably not.
No.
I just think that for an occasion like this, you got. I think you should play your starters at least one.
I think that here's. I agree, but after that J.K. Dobbins situation from a few years ago, they're never going to play him again. I just don't think it. I just don't think they're going to do it again, in this era at least, and especially on that field too. I do not like that football field. So honestly, while I do agree with you, I think if we were playing someone else, I would do it. But the fact that we're on that disgusting FedEx field, let's just not even take a chance. I don't like that. I mean, that field scares me. There's been a lot of nasty stuff happen on that field. I'm hoping that we can get out of this game 100% healthy, so then we can start week 1 100% healthy. So that's my goal for this one. Now, if we were playing another team, I agree, but I'm skeptical about that field. I mean, I know there's a lot of memes about that field, but I'm actually scared about that field because it's just, I don't know. It's not the best quality, as you all know. And I don't think I'm being disrespectful either. You've seen a lot of crazy. Alex Smith. J.K. Dobbins. I just don't want to take a chance. Y'all get what I'm saying.
I understand, but I think it has to get to a point where, in those situations where they haven't seen in-game action in so long.
But there's no reason why they couldn't have played a drive last night or the night before.
At least one. Like I think wholeheartedly, and it didn't even have to be against the Commanders. I think they should have just got a drive in altogether.
The Dallas Cowboys, yeah,
or they did it against the Colts. Well, even though they did a joint practice against the Colts, so I kind of understand that to that degree. But if they would have did it against the Cowboys, who they didn't have a joint practice against, that would have made a little sense. If you want to do it like one drive, again, if they go 3 and out, it doesn't matter. Take them out, whatever, that's fine. But I think the starters should have one drive to get used to being in game together before the regular season. Because even you saw Mahomes out there in a preseason game. You saw Burrow, Chase, and Higgins out there in a preseason game. I'm not sure if Josh Allen played in one, so I'm not leaving him out just to leave him out. I'm just not entirely sure. I think he did play in one, but I could be mistaken.
I don't think so. I'm not sure.
But you're seeing these quarterbacks out here playing in preseason games just to get some rhythm going. So I'm just saying, like, for us, I think it's important to try to get our guys out there, or at least get the ones out there to get some reps in. You know what I mean? I think it's important. So,
well, you got your pros and your cons. You can go figure. I mean, I'm not sure what you guys think. You can let us know what you guys think. But that's what we think about it. That's where we stand. Now, training camp. I know you've done a lot of work at training camp. A lot of buzz. We know who's got a lot of buzz going on around them, and it's Tez Walker, Mike Green, LeJonte Wester, TJ Tampa. I mean, I know since you've been working a lot of camps. I know, guys, I told you I was going to training camp, and I did. It was awesome. It was fun. It was cool to see the facility. It was just a walkthrough. So they were just jogging. They weren't really running full speed, or defense wasn't attacking the ball or doing much of anything. Honestly, it was kind of just a run through of the plays. I guess I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly what they're doing those, but I know that they're not running full speed. So yeah, is there anyone else that stood out to you, or is it just kind of been like everyone that we've expected to pop out has popped out? So like, what have you seen from your work there? Because I know you've been there a couple times.
Dayton Wade has had a pretty good camp.
Yeah,
Dayton Wade has had a good camp. Him and Lamar they've had some nice connections over these past couple of weeks when the offense was clicking. I'm not gonna lie, defense was kind of kicking some butt to start camp. To start camp, defense was kind of going crazy. Couple of turnovers. I know Lamar. Some people were worried because Lamar was having some turnovers, in camp. But I don't think that's a necessarily bad thing when it comes to that. Defense, the secondary has just gotten better. So, I mean, I just think that, as camp was going on, he's just learning to adjust on against those guys because it's been, I mean, you got Jair, you got Marlowe, you got, Malachi now, K-Ham. I mean, those guys are pretty good. So they've just been around the ball a lot. I hate to say this too, but I heard that Bilal Kone, our rookie corner, he was having a good camp before he unfortunately got hurt. And he will miss the season due to a severe injury. So my thoughts to him going forward. We lost both of our rookie corners, unfortunately, this year due to
injury. The ones that we drafted, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the ones that we drafted, correct. The two that we drafted in the 6th round, unfortunately, we lost due to injury. They both will miss the season, unfortunately. So our thoughts and prayers for them. Looking forward to them coming back next season. But yeah, man, as far as people who stood out, the guys who you think would stand out have stood out pretty much throughout the entirety of camp. Bateman, of course, he just continues to get better. Zay looks faster than he did last year, which is kind of crazy to think about, but he looks faster than he did. He looks more sharp than he did last year, especially route running wise. He's a lot more he's just a lot more crisp with his routes now. I thought, and Bateman's kind of looking more like a deep ball receiver threat as well, the way Lamar's connected with him on a couple of bombs downfield. As far as the Lamar and D-Hop connection, still working, still trying to work out the kinks with that, but he's hit him a few times in camp for, I think they might have had a touchdown or two in camp. So him and D-Hop, I still find that connection, but overall, D-Hop's hands still unquestioned as far as, I don't think they have to be questioned. He still got them. Just for anybody to know, D-Hop still has hands. That doesn't need to be debated at all. Happy to see Keaton. Keaton, my trepidation with Keaton initially was that that first camp I went to, he was dropping some passes out of the backfield, which was a little pause for cause because there was nobody guarding him at that time. So I was like, oh goodness, hands please. But you guys saw in that first preseason game, he's still electric, in case anybody was wondering. So I'm hoping that he gets more carries. My thing going into the season is that Derrick Henry should be rested going into the 4th quarter because you have two guys who can carry the load if needed, to take the weight off his shoulders for him to be fresh in the 4th quarter, especially if it's clutch time. If we need him out there, he should be fine because Justice is a threat when he's on the field, whether he's running the ball, whether he's catching his passes out of the backfield, he's a threat. And now Keaton, if Keaton is back to where, and we saw initially, if he's back to where he was his rookie year, there should be no reason why Henry should be. Now, obviously, I'm not going to say gas because obviously everybody's tired after playing 60 minutes, but we should have Henry rested in the 4th quarter because we got two guys who can carry the load when necessary. We have strength with Henry. We have speed with Keaton. We have elusivity and pass catching with Justice. There's no way that we shouldn't be able to utilize all three of these backs. If there's a situational awareness, like we could just be able to use any of these backs whenever, wherever on the field. So I'm really looking forward to see how Keaton progresses because he's only gotten better through camp. Like you can just tell how he's worked through the injury just to get to this point. Like, so happy for him and proud of him to see where he's come. As far as that, we've already talked about Tez Walker, who has just had an extraordinary camp all summer. And he's showed that he couldn't show it as much in the first game, showed in that second game that he's been working, and him and Lamar, he's not catching passes from Lamar yet in game action, but when they do connect, it should be something fun to watch for sure. Because we drafted him to be a deep ball threat because he's not a slow guy. He's pretty fast. So, it's going to be nice to see when Lamar gets on the field and we have Walker out there to see what those guys can do together. As far as the guard, you mentioned it earlier about the guard competition. At first, Cleveland was winning the job. right? I think it was between Cleveland and Falele. Harbaugh said that Cleveland was looking a little bit better throughout camp. Obviously, fans are having their trepidations about Falele. It's good. It's just gonna have to be a wait and see. We're especially going to have to pay very close attention in Game 3 for the preseason because this guard competition, man, it's going to be something to have to keep an eye on because most of those spots on the offensive line are already set. If you think about it, you got your left tackle. It's the All-Pro that you just signed an extension to. So you got your left tackle. You got a Pro Bowl center in Tyler Linderbaum, who's been great. So Ronnie Stanley, Linderbaum, and then Rosengarten, who had a pretty good year last year. So he's probably going to try to step back into that right tackle spot. So you're just figuring out between left guard and right guard. So you got Ben Cleveland, you got Voorhees, and then you got Falele. You know what I mean? So where do they go? I said Cleveland was winning the job. Sorry, it was Voorhees who was winning the job. That's where I messed up on that spot. Voorhees was winning the job between him and Falele. My apologies. So basically, it's just that you have these guys, but where do they fit in? Can they hold their spot? Like it's some question marks. And fans were begging for us to bring Brandon Sheriff, who just recently retired. So we're going to have to see. We still have Emory Jones, who is coming off an injury. He hasn't really practiced as much.
Is he back yet, or is he still hurt?
I don't think he's back just yet. We haven't even seen him in preseason action yet. So we have to see where he's going to be at the start of the season. There's still some question mark. I think one of the bigger question marks going into, especially coming out of camp, is who's gonna be starting in this offensive line? Who's gonna finish out the starters for this offensive line? I feel like we have 3 of them, but now it's about filling out that interior. Like those guard spots are gonna be super crucial going into it. So that's really what most of the stuff I was getting from camp. Other than that, like those guys who you're looking forward to, the Mike Greens of the world. The Malachi Starks, who I think he's had a pretty nice first 2 preseason games. He's been in the spots where he was supposed to be, not really giving up anything big, being where the ball is, making good tackles. So I think he's not popping up on the stat sheets, but he's doing his job. So you just got to give kudos to that. He's not getting lost out there, which is nice to see. So other than that, like most of the guys who you would think about in camp who would stand out have stood out. So that was just see how they prepare for week 3 heading into the final preseason game, because now it's make or break for you to make that roster.
Yeah, it's crunch time now for these young guys. So it's getting excited. We're getting closer and closer to week 1. We're just over 2 weeks away. So it's going to be very exciting. I would say we're close. Maybe like 17, 18 days. I don't know. I'm just excited.
Well, technically, so the first
3 weeks. I'm sorry, we're like 3 weeks away. 3 Sundays.
First game of the season is that Thursday. My birthday, by the way.
That's September the 4th. Yeah,
September the 4th. Yes, that is when Dom.
So that's 2 weeks from Thursday. Oh, that's So we'll wish Dom a happy birthday.
But
and then 3 Sundays from today, the 7th. That's kickoff Sunday. So not 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Just about. So, we're about to end the month. What is it? The 17th right now. So we got about
3 total weeks.
Yeah. So it's pretty much around almost. We're right there. It's crazy to think about it. We'll see. We'll have to see. I really hope that they go into the mentality of, hey, maybe we should play some starters going into this week, because I feel like those guys could use those reps. But I'm looking forward to see how they handle this Commanders team going into this preseason week 3.
Yeah, there's not really much to talk about for it. I mean, for what we're looking for, can Rush have a good game without any turnovers? Can Wester bounce back? Can we get a flash from maybe a younger guy? Can Higgins continue his good campaign? So we'll probably go live again or record again, whatever we want to do after that game. I don't think there's any need to do a pregame for that one. So I mean, we kind of talked about it already this episode. So we'll definitely be back next week sometime to talk about that wrap up. Any last minute things, any final roster predictions we can make. Because after the preseason game, it's time to start trimming down the roster. So that's something we'll do next week. We'll do we'll do a post game wrap up, and we'll do our final predictions for the 53-man roster. So yeah, we've talked about a lot of things. We briefly touched on training camp. We gave you our post game thoughts on the Cowboys. It's fun to be back. We're on a new platform. This is going to be up on YouTube very soon. So please like and subscribe, as you've seen on the screen a couple times. We really appreciate it. So we're going to get up on out of here, actually. So Dom, are any last second things you want to talk about? I know I'm running low on battery. But do you have any last minute sort of thoughts that you want to share?
No, man, I'm going good. Good to give this platform a run. Hopefully we can give you guys some more stuff soon. But I'm excited, man. We're almost there. So
the live commentaries are coming. They're coming.
We're ready to bring you guys some more content soon. Looking forward to it. But that's all I have. All
right, good. So we'll go ahead and wrap up. Yeah, like I said, live commentaries this season, they will be here. We might even have one on week 1. We'll see. That would be awesome. I know I'll be at the games this year too. So we're ready for the 2025 NFL season. We're going to bring you guys content more consistently. We need to stop going on hiatus. It's all Dom's fault. It's not mine. I'm joking.
Known podcast partners.
I'm joking. Yeah, but seriously though, we do need to be consistent again, especially now that we've got this new stuff set up. And we will. So we'll be back next week. Thanks for rocking with us. Please don't hesitate to leave us any comments, any questions you might have for us about your team or about our team or anything. Feel free to drop it in the comments section. Leave a like and a subscription if you enjoyed it. Share it with your friends and fam. We would love the extra output. But anyway, yeah, we're going to go ahead and get on out of here. This is Gonz. That's Dom. And we're going to be signing out. We'll see you guys next week. Have a good rest of your week. We'll see you after preseason week 3. Okay? So go Ravens. Have a good one.